Hi, you are listening to the Student Talk podcast. Students for Students. Hi everyone, today we have a special episode of Student Talk podcast. As I'm sure you have already realized, this is our first episode in English. I'm so excited, and in the same time I'm a little bit stressed. But let's go to my today guests. Zofia Kerner, she's a student at the University of California, Berkeley, and CEO, Girls Future Ready Foundation. Hi Zofia, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing really well. I'm very happy to be here with you and with all your listeners today.
We're also so happy that you can make it and that we can talk today. And I already introduced you a bit, but in a few words, if you can just say who you are and what are you doing now in your life?
Totally. So my name is Zofia. I am originally from Poland, but when I was very young, we moved abroad. We spent some time in Helsinki, in Finland, then in Seattle, then in Boston. Then I attended school in New Hampshire, and now I moved to the Bay Area in California, where I attend UC Berkeley. At Berkeley, I am double majoring in data science and in business administration, which has sort of been a few different passions that have developed throughout my years of traveling. Aside from this, and something that you also hinted at in the introduction, is I run an organization called Girls Future Ready Foundation. I started my very first charity project when I was 8 as a way to help my friends back home in Poland learn English in a much easier and more friendly way when I moved out to Finland. And now, after 11 years, because I'm 19, Girls Future Ready has turned into a multinational organization that impacts about 50,000 young women every single year. We run 5 main programs that help girls develop confidence, public speaking skills, English language skills, and essentially build skills that will be necessary in their future careers that unfortunately are not developed in Central Eastern European school systems.
Yeah, I can fully agree. I would like to add here that I'm studying in English, but right now I'm also feel stressed that I have to run this conversation in English. So I really can see that issue that we have in Poland, that despite of that we study English for so many years, still it is not so easy to talk in English for many of us, many of people here.
Exactly. We did a few studies at Girls Future Ready about the quality of English education in Central Eastern Europe, and the statistics very clearly show that students in Poland are prepared to order coffee and ask where the bathroom is when they travel to an English-speaking country. But when it comes to more professional conversations or conversations around a business table or looking into more of a career and professional aspect, it is extremely difficult for them to be able to get a job that is in English. And this is multi-layered too. The other skill sets that we develop, like public speaking skills or the ability to sit down at a table or stand on a stage and talk about yourself and your ideas and defend yourself and your ideas are crucial. And then when you have this extra challenge of doing so in English, it becomes extremely difficult.
Yeah, I fully agree. I am sure that we will turn back to the Girls Future Ready later, but you also mentioned that originally you are from Poland, and I would like to also ask you, what impact did moving out from Poland have on you, on your life now?
So many, almost too many to list, but some of the main highlights would be definitely the access to a variety of educational systems that taught me skills that I would not have been able to learn in Poland. I still come back to Poland every summer and I do a lot of charity work there, and I speak Polish fluently, but thanks to the fact that we moved out so early on, I was able to learn English, develop my public speaking skills in different educational systems. I was able to really gain a lot of confidence in myself and my ideas just by being surrounded by people that are also very empowered and confident. On top of that, I think being in in regions and locations that are very mission driven has been really inspiring for me. What I've noticed in Finland, for example, with the women empowerment movements, there pretty much isn't anything as a women empowerment movement because female equality is pretty much a given at that point. Then in comparison to the US, where it is still clearly an issue, but it's an issue that people recognize and that people are working towards making women and men much more equal, minimizing the wage gap, making sure that everyone feels that they have a confident space where they can share ideas is something that I think that the US is really working on, and seeing this aspect of people really driving towards achieving this mission really gave me a lot of comparison with Poland and the country that I come from and the country that I work with so closely. So definitely education and just being able to learn from people and meet really amazing people has been one of the key benefits of moving out of Poland. Yeah.
So can you say that you feel equal to the people that are citizens of the USA that are originally from
I think so. I've been in the US for about 7 years now, and like I said, I left Poland when I was 6. I think people are definitely very curious about Poland, and as much as it is sad sometimes, not very many people know where Poland is on the map. I sometimes interfere with ideas like I would be introducing myself and I say, "Hi, I'm Zofia, I'm from Poland." And the immediate response is, "Oh, you're from Holland? Holland, like where the chocolates are from?" And you're like, no, I'm from Poland. And it's a very difficult comparison, but I think I definitely feel at home here. Like I don't really feel like a stranger anymore just because it's been so long, but that definitely took many years of adjustments.
Okay. So you're studying now, yes?
Yes.
Can you tell us something more about studying in US, how it looks like?
Absolutely. So just to give you a little bit more insight, like you mentioned at the beginning, I am studying at the University of California, Berkeley, which is located in Berkeley, California. Who would have guessed? It is really close to San Francisco. And I'm pursuing a double major between data science and business administration. What does this look like? Honestly, it looks very similar as college does in a lot of other places. If you have any specific questions, I'd love to answer them. But I think in general, it's been a really great experience so far, just in terms of the community of people that I'm able to meet and the professors I'm able to interact with.
Maybe just to get more details, I meant, for example, work in groups. Do you have a lot of stuff to do in groups? Because in Poland, I guess it of course depends on the field, but usually we have to do things individually.
Mm-hmm. That's a very interesting point that you bring up, and I think it's something that just the Polish educational system has been struggling with throughout not only college, but also high school and middle school and everything like that. But yeah, I see much more opportunities to collaborate with people. We don't only have huge lecture halls, but the big lecture classes are divided then into smaller discussion sections, so you have a chance to interact with your huge group of like 500 kids sitting in a huge lecture hall. But then during the week, you also have times when you come together in a group of 20, 25 students with an additional instructor that helps sort of guide you through the material. And then that's the people that you're really able to learn from while also sharing your own ideas and perspectives. Another thing that I think is crucially different from school in Poland is there's a lot of presentation and public speaking opportunities. So in all of these smaller discussion sections for every class, we're essentially required to do a presentation at least once a semester for each class. So let's say you're taking 5 classes and every semester, so that's 10 semesters in total, 10 presentations throughout the year. So you have a chance to stand up on stage and practice these presentation skills that I think education in Central Eastern Europe simply doesn't provide yet.
Yeah, so we can, because you mentioned the presentation skills, so we can slightly switch to that theme. What do you think we missed as a young people in that field? What we need to work on?
I think we just need practice. there aren't enough spaces for young people in Europe to stand up on stage and share their voice. Over last summer, I participated in the TED conference in Warsaw, and I was the youngest speaker. At that point, I was 18, and the next youngest person was like 25. And then it just sort of went up from there. And seeing that students in college, they don't want to be listened to. They're sort of treated as the people that are supposed to sit down and listen to adults, when I think there just isn't enough appreciation for young people who do have a voice and have a say that they would love to share. And that is something that definitely just needs practice.
Okay, can you share with us some details about the preparation to that TED Talk? How you prepared to that?
Yes.
It was your first
absolutely.
a speech in front of the group of the people, I guess usually older than you.
Yeah, I've been participating in a few major conferences since I was about 13 or 14. So a few of them I did at the University of Washington with a few different organizations. One of them was called Young Women Empowered, which is one of the main organizations in Washington that runs a lot of female empowerment workshops. So I did a presentation for them. A few other interesting public speaking opportunities before that. So I definitely felt like the public speaking aspect was all right, and I wasn't as stressed out as I would be if it was my very first big conference. However, I think something about TED Talks is the time limit that is very particular. So every TED Talk has to be under 18 minutes, and 18 minutes is like a long time. But when you actually get down to writing this 18-minute talk, first of all, it is difficult to actually produce 18 minutes of material that you then have to present on stage. But the second level to that is also it's only 18 minutes, and you can't share your whole life story and all your ideas and everything you could possibly ever know and learn in just 18 minutes. So that was definitely one of the biggest challenges. The conference helped a lot with providing different mentorship and different workshops that helped us as like a community of speakers prepare for the event, which was really, really great. I was paired with a really wonderful mentor who guided me through writing the speech, practicing it, and then later presenting it on stage in Warsaw, it was a great experience, just being able to share something that I think was very valuable. I spoke about the counter side of young power and young people empowerment. I think there is a very big trend right now of people just saying, oh, we should empower the youth and empower young people, but that is coming from 40-year-old men that are sitting among 40-year-old men and deciding that these are the new trends that should be coming about, versus I believe that it should be young people that are driving these movements, and that we as a young generation have a lot to say and a lot to teach other generations as well. And the gap between Gen Z and millennials and older generations is really becoming much, much smaller every single year. And we have to capitalize off of that. But seeing how it's so difficult for as a young person to break into investment meetings, investment rooms, it's just so hard. One of the examples I use that matches with this idea of young power is there has been multiple occasions where I was invited to pitch Girls Future Ready as sponsors as a way for our fundraising, and I come up the elevator of this huge high-rise building in Warsaw, all dressed up in my business clothes, and I come into a table with 4 or 5 men that are 40 or 50 plus, and immediately, who are you, little girl? We're supposed to be waiting for the CEO of Girls Future Ready Foundation as an investment opportunity. And right away, my answer is hi, this is me. I would love to present to you guys. And sometimes I don't even have a chance to pull up my PowerPoint. I'm already in the elevator leaving the building. And that is something that doesn't happen to people who are older. Just because I'm young, and still the differences in gender equality in Europe are very difficult, and also being not only young but being a young woman is presents a lot of barriers and a lot of mental blocks for adults to just open up and listen to ideas that the young people might have. Sorry, that was a little digression from public speaking and TED Talks, but valuable
Yeah,
nevertheless.
yeah, for sure, valuable. So, what motivates you to go and break that walls that are in front of you? What gives you that energy and enthusiasm to go to that meeting where at the first time you see some people that just don't want to say to you anything because you are just young woman and that they not treat you like they should.
Yeah. Where does this motivation come from? I think honestly from my acknowledgement that I've received so much in life. I was able to learn English firsthand and develop my public speaking skills through a lot of practice. I was able to participate in some of the best educational systems in the world, and I realized how fantastic of an opportunity that was for me. And now I'm able to speak and communicate in English as if it's my native language. And that has been really meaningful for my life and the opportunities that I have. I feel a really big need to give back to the people that are in my home country that I think are equally, if not more, brilliant and talented and fantastic, and have the absolute capability to conquer the world, but just aren't able to have access to resources that can help them do so. There's so many girls that have fantastic business ideas, that have fantastic opinions and mindsets, but have been faced with so many challenges and have been sort of thrown away by the educational system that really kills confidence and kills good mindsets. And I think that is really disappointing. So that's sort of what gives me the power to go to all these meetings and presentations in hopes that I can make a small impact to change that.
Can you say how did you get that confidence? It is because of the practice, or maybe you also owe it to someone show you that it is worth to be confident?
Oh my gosh, I never know how to answer this question. I get asked this a lot. I think it was wow, I honestly don't even know what to say. I think it just sort of comes with time. I think I've grown a lot since the very first time that I left Poland. I remember starting my international school in Finland and not knowing a single word in English when everyone else only communicated in English. And the very first day, I remember sitting alone in the cafeteria, eating cold tomato soup because I didn't know how to ask anyone how to use the microwave to warm it up. And it was a very difficult time for me to be able to make this adjustment from this crazy new world that I was entering without the knowledge of how to say anything except, "Hi, I'm Zofia." I didn't even know how to ask anyone if I could sit with them at lunch or make any sort of conversations. And I think these difficult adjustments and having to constantly go into new environments, adjust and grow have really helped me a lot in developing that confidence that I think now I have more of. But it's not always that way. I think every day is different, and some days you feel more empowered to step on stage and speak your truth, but some days it's much more difficult, and that's totally okay as well. But absolutely, the answer is just years of growth and adjustment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And talking about the speaking public speaking and the confidence, I think now it's the time to just talk a little about the Girls Future Ready. And can you share how it was born, the idea for all of that, or all of the programs? Because I also know that you have a lot of that. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. So the very first initiative started 2 years after I moved to Finland. I was able to develop English speaking skills thanks to the wonderful English support team that was at school. So we read a lot of books and watched a lot of movies, and the classroom was colorful and just really fun, and a really fun place to be in. And I remember that summer, I think I was in 2nd or 3rd grade in elementary school, And my parents decided it would be a good idea to enroll me in just a public Polish school for a month during like the very last month of school, just to see what would happen if we were to come back to Poland. Like, would me and my younger brother be able to adjust back into the Polish educational system? And we sort of attended these classes and made some friends. And I realized that the most difficult subject for me was English, which was shocking because I was a very confident child, and I also at that point knew how to speak English pretty well. So coming into a classroom and being tested on different verb tenses and like present perfect and past perfect was so strange to me that I just that was one of the only classes that I couldn't like get a decent grade in because it was just taught in such a different way. So even though I could fully communicate with my teacher in English, I couldn't produce that on an exam that everyone else was tested on. But then the people that were acing these exams wouldn't be able to talk to me in English. And I was thinking, there has to be something that isn't working in this system if someone who speaks English is not able to do well on the test, but someone who does well on the test isn't able to speak English. And maybe this came from my need to succeed and have good grades, but when I returned back to Finland, I wanted to do something to help develop these English language skills in a way that was very practical for me. Another observation I had was people hated going to English class. It was a dark and gray classroom with black and white copies of textbooks that were the only learning materials, and it was just a sad, not very exciting space to be in. But the way that I learned English was with colorful posters on the walls and great books with big pictures, and I wanted to give students in Poland the same opportunity. So I tried to convince my principal to allow me to do a small book drive at my school. And of course she said no, because book drives were only for adults to organize. But after a few weeks and months of trying to convince her, she finally agreed, probably just to get me to stop asking. And I was able to organize this first little book drive. And it was 50, 100 books that I first donated to that local Polish school, but I saw that the impact that it had on these students was much bigger than just me going around and giving out some books. And I saw how they're actually a practical way for them to learn something that can really be life-changing. And from then on, I haven't stopped collecting these books. We have, over the past 10 years, collected over 70,000 of these resources that have been donated to hundreds of elementary schools, children's hospitals, orphanages, that have a chance to really utilize these resources that sometimes are the only English resources that they have that are in any way a little bit more exciting than the black and white textbooks. And that's only one of our initiatives at Girls Future Ready. The program is called Girls English Ready, and
so it was the
and
first
it's becoming
program.
One of our
Yes,
it was the very first. Well, maybe not necessarily a program within Girls Future Ready, because at that point I was like, I just want to collect some books and give them to my friends, and it just became one of those annual little drives that I did. But when I moved to the U.S., I realized that there are so many other skills that education in Central Eastern Europe doesn't provide that other people around the world are able to learn. And examples of this are public speaking skills, argumentation skills, something that I like to call a global mindset, which is that the world is very big, and that's a good thing. That there are so many opportunities around the world that girls are able to participate in. But that also means that there's a lot of competition. There are girls that are coming from Singapore, from the US, from Hong Kong, from all the different European countries that are sort of, in a way, positively competing together for the same jobs and the same industries and the same opportunities. But we can't be scared of that, but we also have to know that the fact that the world is big provides its pluses and minuses. I think when girls in Poland hear the world is big, then they get really scared and timid because it seems like all that provides is competition and scale, and they get very locked into this perspective that Poland is everything that there is. And that's not true. So we're trying to broaden those mindsets. Another thing that we really focus on is this idea of confidence. And confidence can't really be taught like a switch. Just here you go, here's the material, memorize it, and you'll learn how to be confident. It's something that comes with a lot of practice and really being able to participate in a lot of different opportunities, which is what we try to provide. So that was sort of the starts of my charity work. But Girls Future Ready was officially established about 4.5-5 years ago. And then it sort of spread into these programs that we have now. Maybe I'll give you a little short rundown of each of the programs that we organize, because they each target something slightly different. The first program is Her Story Project, which is our key mentorship program. But it is not simple, just chats over coffee where we quote unquote do mentorship. But it is a more hands-on program. Something that I really admire in a lot of the educational systems that I've had the chance to be a part of is that they're very hands-on. You constantly work on projects, experiments, and new experiences that help you understand the material instead of just being talked at. So the way that this program works is we pair one young girl up to 24 years old with one expert in a field. And these fields are anything from photography to media to journalism to computer science to STEM to really almost anything you can think of. We had a fashion project, interior design, and these girls are able to sign up to be a part of this project, and if they're chosen by the mentor to be their mentee, they work on a 3-month initiative with them, and they're able to develop something true and tangible. For example, one of our laureates was mentored with Klara Koftun from Risk Made in Warsaw. Her name was Marysia, and she was able to create from the very starts of the design through the execution and the selecting of the materials and everything like that. She created her own article of clothing that will be sold in the spring collection with the Spring Made in Risk Made in Warsaw boutique in Warsaw, which is an opportunity that she wouldn't have had otherwise. Another one of our laureates, Julka Kobierska, created her own podcast with professional podcasters from Halo Dziewczyny, and they worked together for 3 months to create a real podcast that she still works on to this day, even though her program ended a few months back. And now she's an icon talking about women empowerment and motivation and self-love, and it's a really empowering podcast called Między Poduszkami. I recommend it to all of you as well. So these are the sort of journeys that girls in Her Story are able to go through, thanks to the fact that they're working with a mentor. On top of that, we have our Her Story Masterclass. So this is for a slightly larger scale because our mentorship Her Story project is only one-on-one. With Her Story Masterclass, we invite meaningful guests to speak with girls, to about 15 to 20, maximum 25 of them in a small space where girls are able to ask questions and interact with the speaker. And the speaker comes for about an hour and a half, giving us a 45-minute presentation about themselves and their career path and talking about themselves and sharing their wisdom. And then the girls are able to really interact and take advantage of this contact, which is another amazing opportunity for them to interact with someone and talk about a career and really think about different career opportunities very early on. Our next program is Girls Global Ready, where every year we connect 100 girls from the US and from Central Eastern Europe to become language mentors. Then they meet on sort of their own calendar. They share cultures. They're girls that are the same age. So our volunteers from the US are also about 15 through 24 years old, and same with their partners in Europe. And they share culture, talk about themselves and their lives and their experiences, which is really eye-opening to both sides, really, to be able to learn about each other's cultures. And the conversations are in English, so girls in Poland are able to learn English through conversation, which is so much more meaningful. This year, we have added monthly challenges. Give me 1 second. I'm going to finish just with this Girls Global Ready thought. We have added monthly challenges that are participants sort of participate in together, and they create, whether that's artwork or little short answers or some creative graphic design infographics, to participate within these monthly challenges, and are able to earn points to win a trip to New York City for the two partners to meet at the end of the program. So the most engaged pair will win a trip to meet each other in New York for a few days to sort of further that relationship and friendship that they were able to develop only virtually over the past months.
Wow, so amazing. And this Girls Global Ready program is once in a year, yes?
Yes, so our programs usually run on a school year calendar. So, for example, Girls Global Ready this year, we started in November and it will end in May. We have, and we only have one of those every single school year. But there's more that sort of happens throughout the year. For example, our Her Story program is monthly, and our Her Story Masterclass is monthly as well. So every single month we announce a new Her Story mentor and a new Her Story Masterclass that girls are able to apply for. And then we do, on top of that, a lot of data analysis. We run a few surveys to learn about education in Central Eastern Europe, confidence, public speaking, global mindsets, to sort of analyze the field that we're working with. And that program is called Zmieniam Polską Szkołę, as a way to really get an insight into what education in Central Eastern Europe looks like. And on top of that, we're building a Girls Future Ready community of girls that is really so supportive of one another. We're really trying to fight a lot of the toxicity around female solidarity, that women don't want to support other women, that girls would rather compete with one another than support each other. We want to break these mindsets and really bring to life this opportunity for girls to form a really strong and meaningful group that really empowers one another, supports each other's initiatives. We have a lot of groups where girls are connected, and if someone says, hi, I have this idea for a project, or I would love to participate in this, then there are many, many girls that will always be there to support, participate, and actively really help them out, which I think is really meaningful as well, to have this community that really empowers them, boosts their confidence, boosts their creativity, and as really is just a wonderful space for girls to meet and be with one another.
And if I can ask, how do you look for the mentors to the program? How it happens?
Totally. So it's a two-step process sometimes. Occasionally it's mentors that reach out to us saying, hi, I've had this really great and rewarding career and I'd love to share it. And they would love to participate as a mentor in Her Story. Sometimes it's women who would love to just come and do a little guest speaking masterclass to talk about their career or teach girls something specific. And then there's the aspect of us reaching out to them. So we sent out a lot of contacts and invitations to a lot of these really empowered women who we would love to have speak. And that sometimes happens through LinkedIn. For example, we had a LinkedIn workshop by a really wonderful lady who works for LinkedIn in Central Eastern Europe. And she came in and talked about what running a LinkedIn is like, what is some LinkedIn etiquette, how to use LinkedIn to really maximize the opportunity to get a job, or how to even build a really successful and effective LinkedIn profile. And acquiring a mentor like that was a simple post on LinkedIn saying, hi, I would love to organize a LinkedIn workshop for a community for Girls Future Ready. And immediately people are saying, oh, you should totally contact her because she would be a great contact and would be a really great speaker on the topic. So it sort of depends. But it's becoming a nice twofold process, with some people coming to us and us reaching out to some people that are really incredible women. Every single one of our masterclass guests has been absolutely fantastic. I go to all of them and really see how beneficial it is, and the feedback from them is amazing. Our Her Story program mentors are also fantastic and really provide a crazy meaningful experience for these girls to really be able to transform their lives and their careers and create something really tangible that they can put on their resume.
And I'm just interested if for now the mentors are only women, yes? Or
Yes.
you just, okay, it's...
Only female mentors,
Okay,
yes.
only female, okay. And
Yes, it is sort of coming with the idea of women supporting women and really
just to create that bond
bringing
between
in
a woman.
exactly, yeah.
Okay. For sure, you got a lot of experience for all of that time, and how that work influenced you, and what did you learn already from what you do?
So much. Running Girls Future Ready is like running a full-blown business. We have hundreds of volunteers that I manage. We have a few wonderful women that are on the board that run a lot of our programs. So I've learned a lot about project management and leadership and really taking advantage of every opportunity. I've also learned a lot about fundraising. I've learned a lot about reaching out to people and the steps for making things happen. A lot of these programs are things that I think of in the shower or on my drive to school or in random situations during the day. I could be cooking and making dinner and I think, maybe her story masterclass would be a great opportunity, and coming from idea through execution, support, funding, has really been extremely meaningful and valuable for me, just in terms of knowing how to execute something like this.
So it is just like a full-time job, 24 hours.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, 24 hours a day, and but it's definitely very, very rewarding. And I often get asked, how do you have time for all of this with Girls Future Ready and school and social life and everything like that? But something that my mom always taught me: if something is really meaningful for you, you will make time for it, and that's what Girls Future Ready really is to me. So it's been a great opportunity for me to sort of de-stress and give back to a community that I really care about.
And how do you handle these difficult moments? Because I guess that there are also some parts that are difficult and hard to sometimes to go through. How is with that?
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of rejection that comes with creating projects and creating change and trying to create change, especially with people that are very resistant to change. And these hard times will definitely come, but I've learned that every hard opportunity or every harder moment really brings about better ones in the end, and it brings a lot of learning. When people say that they don't want to participate in any of our programs, maybe they recommend someone else that would love to, and it opens more opportunities and possibilities. And it also pushes me to continue searching, continue looking for more opportunities and more projects and more programs. And that's really great. I think it's really just the opportunity to learn a lot, and it's been fantastic so far.
Do you have any authorities, any role models that you follow or maybe followed?
Yeah, I have a few mentors that I worked with that sort of really helped guide me along the way. People that I can turn to and ask for their opinion on projects and programs and prepare for presentations and public speaking and stuff like that. And they've been really great. Some of them are women who were mentors for our Her Story mentorship program, and they've sort of been a part of Girls Future Ready ever since, and that has been really great to have someone to turn to. On top of that, I obviously get a lot of support from my family. My mom is always ready to wake up at 6 a.m. to practice a presentation that I have to give at 7, or to read over any really important emails that I have to send out, and that's the support that I really, really appreciate.
Okay, I think that is a great to have a support in the family, especially. So great that you have people like that so close to you. And I guess that we have to slowly going to the end, but I would like to also add about your dreams and future plans, how it looks for now.
Absolutely. We'll see where it goes. I definitely see Girls Future Ready being a part of my future, whether it's big or small, we will see. It is something that I genuinely really enjoy and see a lot of value in, and something that has really been a huge vehicle for growth in my life. In terms of what's coming next, I will definitely finish school. I still have 3.5 years, so this is the time that I'm still going to explore a little bit and see what opportunities lie ahead of me. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really hate this question. I get asked this by every single person I talk to because the perspective is, oh, you're so young and you've already done this and this and this, but what will happen next? I'm not sure. And maybe it's a little better this way to really keep these options open, and I'm fully available to see what opportunities sort of come my way and what opportunities I can build.
I'm so glad that you said that you will see, because I think that usually this question about what we'll do in the future, what will be next for 5-10 years, we have this we just can say that we don't know, that we are not sure, that we just realize that in the next year, we'll just see what will happen, and then maybe we'll go somewhere. So so thank you for that answer. And
absolutely.
Can you also tell at the end how to join the programs again? How can girls join the programs?
That's the key thing. I can't believe I missed this. Absolutely. So all of our programs are announced on all of our social media. So follow Girls Future Ready on Instagram, Facebook, and even LinkedIn. And all our programs and announcements and any sort of updates are all posted on there. So that will be your number one source of information. And that is really, really what we recommend. We do have a website, girlsfutureready.org, that you can also visit to get a little short rundown about what we do. But to be honest, your best bet is checking out our social media and making sure that that you're followed and updated. And trust me, that is all you will need to participate. All of our programs are completely free of charge. They are, in my opinion, all wonderful and really help a lot with developing so many important skills, and I'd recommend it to anyone. I hope that if you're listening as a part of Girls Future Ready, you can say the same and pass the word along. Tell your friends, teachers, classmates to learn about it as well, because we're here for you.
Okay, so everyone now take your phones and type Girls Future Ready and click follow, and make sure that you will be ready to check what is new. And Zofia, I really thank you for today's conversation, that we could make it. And what would you like to leave our listeners with?
Make your dreams come true. Like, you're the only one who will be able to do so. And I think something that is very stigmatized, especially that it is still January of 2022, and I think this idea of goal setting and making these huge dreams can sometimes be very taunting, but setting goals that are important for you and breaking them down into smaller goals that are more achievable is really important and valuable, and can really be extremely meaningful. So go chase your dreams, and I wish you luck. Thank you again, Zofia, for today. I'm crossing your fingers for
thank you so much.
Next actions. Yes, thank you, and same with you.